Jay here from Stretford, Paddock. This is it. This is the big one. Manchester United hosting Liverpool in the Premier League. And I say the big one every week, basically. Sometimes twice a week. But this is, Joe. Manchester United playing Liverpool, the two biggest clubs in England. Obviously, United are the biggest, Liverpool the second biggest. The two most successful clubs in England. Obviously, United are the most successful, Liverpool the second most successful. But this is it. This is the one that we always look for when the fixtures are out. This is one where you go, when have we got the Scousers? Oh, that's it. It's going to be this weekend. Let's have it.
Absolutely. And especially in recent years, it's almost flipped because now you think, how bad will this be? Genuinely. And last season was Ten Hag's first season. We beat him at Old Trafford, which was great. We followed that up by losing 7-0 away. And then last season was poor again. And then we followed that up by beating him in the FA Cup. So it's kind of been this back and forth under Ten Hag, and it needs to be a fourth this time. We need to be the ones pushing forward and being on the offensive, because otherwise, 3 games in, if United have lost 2 of those 3 games, then things are going to get pretty sticky pretty quickly. But, you know, I've got faith that Man United can do this in, like you said, what is the big one. Absolutely.
Yeah, 100%. One player who's going to have a big say in this game, or should have a big say in this game, could have a big say in this game, a player that the manager's been sticking up for because he's had a lot of stick, including off Alan Shearer. Cheer up Alan Shearer and all the rest of it. But he's had a bit of stick. Some of it, I have to admit, is warranted because he hasn't been great. Some of it is a little bit OCT. Marcus Rashford. We haven't seen the best of Marcus Rashford for a little while now. I don't think we've really seen the top Marcus Rashford that we have seen in the past for a little while. We've seen glimpses of it last season. It wasn't a good season. We've seen little moments this season, but really hasn't got going. He needs to turn up, doesn't he? Because, listen, we all love Marcus Rashford, but there's no point in burying our head in the sands. The reason we're talking about him is because we're not seeing the best Marcus Rashford, and my concern is, if he doesn't act sooner about this, if he doesn't get back to scoring goals and showing us what he can do, the manager is going to have to make a tough decision, because basically under this manager, Marcus Rashford has one amazing season where he got 30 goals and 11 assists and helps us win a trophy and finish third, and he's had one disappointing season. Now we're in the third one. This is, I know it sounds crazy to say this about a player like Marcus, but it feels like this is make or break for him at Manchester United. It really does.
Especially in a post-Ineos, post-kind of giga transfer, everyone's on 375 grand a week at Man United world. The likes of Varane, of Martial, of Sancho, of Ronaldo, of Casemiro, obviously he's still here. But those sorts of deals where you come in and you get the kind of wage that Rashford is on now seem to be behind us. Look at the people United have signed this window. I think Ligt got the most money and he's on around 100 grand a week less than Rashford is. Like the age of you being in your mid to late 20s, not performing and being on 350 grand a week, those days are numbered. And if Rashford puts himself or stays in that category, if you put in all in the performances and you're getting goals and goals and goals, it won't matter. But if he isn't, then there are going to be big questions asked at the end of this season. The one thing I do want to say is I think we've seen more effort from Rashford this season so far. It's not translated to goals or assists, but he should have got an assist in that first game. He squares the ball to Garnacho, not the best pass ever, but Garnacho still got an open net 12 yards out and he misses it. He also scored a goal in the Brighton game and he happened to be offside, and you can blame him for being offside, so I'm not saying it was a goal, but he got in a position to score that goal, and if he was onside by, you know, if he'd a foot further back, I think he still would have scored it. So in a slightly different world with a bit of better luck, he could be on 1 goal, 1 assist, 2 games. And I think that's maybe where more like what he deserves. I don't think he's been brilliant, but for me, the signs are there that he's putting in more effort at least. And that's something that I think we should celebrate rather than saying no goals, no assists. It's just the same as last year. I don't think it is quite the same as last year. So for me, I think that we're going to see more out of Marcus Rashford. And the big games are where he starts to step up and turn his form around. And this is the game for him, I think.
He's got to as well, because Marcus Rashford gets in his own head. And the reaction to that missed chance by Garnacho at Old Trafford summed it up, because a lot of people were blaming him. Rashford, he's in that sort of thing where people are hating on him, and I think it gets to him, and he has the weight of the world on his shoulders, and I think the only way to resolve this is for Marcus Rashford to turn up. The good news for him is he's got it in his locker. I will never ever agree with anyone who says Marcus Rashford is a terrible footballer. He's not. On his day, he's one of the best players in the world. It's just we don't see his day often enough at all, and we need to see it, because there's only so much his manager can do when he goes in a press conference, sticks up for him. There's only so many times you can say, and I get your point, I'm not disagreeing with you. You can say, well, Garnacho's done better, he's offside, but you know he's a bit unlucky on that one. He's got to deliver. And the best way to do that is against the Scousers at Old Trafford, like he has done many times. I think he's got about 8 goals against Liverpool. So he's got a very good record against them. And if he turns up and he gets a goal or he helps us win the game against Liverpool, I'm not saying all will be forgiven, because there's still going to be a section of the fan base and the pundits and all the rest of it who stick the knife in with Marcus Rashford. But I certainly think it'll go some way to getting his season on the right track and certainly helping Manchester United get our season on the right track. We spoke about it, about chances, about taking chances, about Marcus and Garnacho and one or two others. We have to convert our chances.
Yeah.
You cannot waste chances against Liverpool because they look decent under Arne Slot. We'll get to them in a minute. They've not exactly had a big test so far since he's took over, but we know how tight these games can be. They know they can often hinge on 1 or 2 moments in these games. We saw it last season, the 2-2 at Old Trafford. Could have gone either way. The 4-3 in the FA Cup at Old Trafford, again, could have gone either way. You have to take your chances.
Yeah, you do. I think United have missed, or no one has missed more chances in the league this season than Manchester United. So with the chances are coming, they're just not going in. And one issue I do think we have is that we either seem to make a big chance or no chance. And I think that United need to start creating 15, 20 shots at a game rather than the sort of 10 or 11 that we've been having, where we, eventually you might get a deflected goal, or you might, the goalie might spill it under his arms. It feels like we get these really good opportunities, like the goal that was disallowed, like the other goal that was disallowed against Brighton. We get these brilliant opportunities, and if they don't go in, we can't win. Whereas if you have those opportunities and you supplement that with, 15, 20 shots, the odds of one of them going in is much higher. I think it's good that we're making decent chances, but United need to take more shots in games. United need to get their strikers having more shots. I think looking at Højlund last season, I think it was in the bottom 10% for shots taken, compared to all strikers in Europe's top 5 leagues. He doesn't get given enough shots, and I know he's not fit now, but Manchester United strikers and attackers generally aren't shooting enough. So I think we need to see that. We need to see not just our chances being taken, but more chances being created. And I think we can do that, especially when you've got Bruno in there. But we've just got to start doing it. And I think all this sort of improvement, the pressing's better, this is better, that's better, it needs to turn into goals going in. Because last year, 56 goals in the league? It's not enough.
It's not. And listen, we can make excuses and give reasons behind it, but people are going to be unforgiving in this game.
Yeah.
If we don't win this game because people have missed chances, those people, whoever they are going to get stick, they're going to get criticism, and it could end up costing this manager in the long term. We need to, get a result, and it's not just about the result, performance as well. We need a decent performance against Liverpool. With all that being said, give us your predicted 11. This is the team you think will face Liverpool this Sunday.
Frustrating, obviously, Mason Mount's out. Ugarte hasn't been signed on and registered in time, so he cannot play. The midfield picks itself because they're the only 3 fit sort of first choice players we have. Eriksen, you could have argued 2 seasons ago was first choice, certainly not anymore. After that, it's basically Collier. McTominay's been sold. Those 3 have to start. If you haven't got them, I'll slap you. I won't say that much.
That's fair enough.
The back
Reasonable.
4, again, I've started De Ligt because I think the fact that Maguire keeps getting subbed out after 70 minutes is an indicator that Ten Hag wants De Ligt to be fit enough to start.
Yeah.
And I think this is a big test, and I think he'll bring De Ligt in. He likes kind of giving players a big test, something to prove. Playing Luke Shaw at centre-back against Man City, stuff like that, I think De Ligt will start. And the front 3, again, it's a tricky one. Now Mount's out, Bruno comes out of that false 9 role, and putting Xerxes straight in. He's our only striker. I keep saying that. We're stuck in a world where we've only got one player in a few positions. Rashford keeps his place on the left, especially after those comments in the presser, and Garnacho starts his first game of the season after looking dangerous off the bench in the last 2. I think it's going to be tricky, to drop Ahmad, but he wasn't his best in that Fulham game. I know he got a goal, but the performance wasn't great. I think that team starts, personally.
Yeah, I think you're right. There's a part of me, right, I'm looking at it, and I think if you go to my team, there's only a slight difference here.
Yeah, front 3.
The front 3. And I was in 2 minds. Part of me was wondering whether he might do something a bit slightly outrageous. I say outrageous, but he might put De Ligt, Martinez and Maguire in a back 3 with Mazraoui and Dalot as almost like wing backs. Have that 3 in midfield and maybe have 2 up top.
Yeah.
Something like that. But then I think, is that too much of a change for a game where you go in? It's a big game. The toughest says, let's change everything in terms of formation and style and all the rest of it. I think he won't. I understand the idea about Xerxes starting. I don't know if Xerxes is ready to start a game yet. And that might sound crazy because he's come on twice, but he's not had any pre-season, Joshua Zirkzee, and he didn't have any Euros. He had 4 minutes in the Euros.
Yeah,
so he's had no Euros. Now, I'm not dismissing what you're saying because I think it's 50-50 whether he goes, look, he's had enough, but I'll put him in. But I also feel with Erik ten Hag, there is an element of stubbornness to him. And I think the fact he's gone all guns blazing, sticking up for Marcus Rashford in his criticism against Alan Shearer's criticism of him, means for me, he might even just stick with Marcus to start. He might go, look, you know what? You're my guy. I'm not going to drop you. I'm not going to listen to the critics. You're in. I just feel for those reasons, that's why I think Marcus is going to start down the middle. And I think Garnacho will be on the left, Diallo on the right. Mason Mount out. Bruno has to drop him for the reasons you've explained. And I do expect Ligt to start. Talking of Liverpool, they've had 2 games so far this season. They've beaten Ipswich away. They've beaten Brentford at home. Games you'd expect them to win, but they have won them.
Yeah.
Mo Salah's looking good. He's been, he's been on the score sheet. He's looking lively. It is a little bit annoying that Arne Slot's just come in and slotted right in.
Yeah, Salah in particular kills me.
Forgive me.
Yeah, Ethan loved that slotted right in joke. Salah kills me. Do you know, like, there's certain players, as a United fan, you watch your team play, and when then someone is on the opposition team sheet, you hate it.
Yeah.
Drogba used to be one of them. I just hated playing whenever we played against Drogba.
And like Didier.
Yeah, exactly. There's certain players where you just go, this isn't going to be fun. And usually with Salah, it's not fun. He's got 14 goals in 15 games against Man United and 4 assists as well. Like, that odds are he's scoring on Sunday. That is just statistically, he is probably going to score with how much he scores against us. There can't be many players in history who have got more than 14 goals against Man United. Like genuinely,
even Aguero hasn't got that many. You remember Aguero's goal scoring record against United was ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I think he had like 11, if memory serves, around that mark. The thing with Salah as well, he didn't score against us for 2 seasons.
No.
He's like, you remember when it was like Matteo Darmian and Ashley Young were pocketing him?
Yeah.
And everyone was laughing about it. And then once he started, he couldn't stop. And he got like 2 hat-tricks against us or something stupid.
It's horrible. It's ludicrous.
Well, with that record, 14 goals or whatever, it's 15 goals, he must have at least, he has. We know he has. We don't need to go into it. Yeah.
He's the one to watch. I mean, it's pretty basic that he's the one to watch, but when the numbers are that overwhelming, it's not like, oh, I'm not going to try and find
Everyone
like
else.
Szoboszlai's the guy. The guy who scores every fucking time he plays us, that's the one to watch out for, I'm afraid, yeah.
No, I agree. Before we go into score predictions, get your phone out in landscaped and film yourself giving your score prediction for 30 seconds and send it to paddockmatchday@gmail.com. 30 seconds and you come on the channel and you're part of our pre-match build-up. Give us your score prediction, my friend.
I think we're going to win this game, and I think we're going to keep a clean sheet as well.
Yeah.
I'm going to go 2-0. I think Casemiro and Bruno Fernandes will score the goals. Casemiro from a set piece, and Bruno, nice little finish inside the box. But I think it's going to be one of the first time in a while where United are the better team and beat Liverpool comfortably.
What's the most you think you've ever been wrong in a prediction?
Are you about to say it's this?
No, like
the most I've ever been wrong. I don't know. I'm not sure. Probably the time we lost 7-0 away to Liverpool. I don't remember. Maybe a 1-1 or a 2-1 win.
Right, so you were 7 goals out.
Yeah.
So you've never been more than that.
Yeah.
So I'm just thinking, if we were to predict United win 7-0, have we ever been that wrong before?
No.
There you go then.
So United are going to win 7-0?
Yeah.
Because that would be equal our worst ever prediction if we lose.
If we lose 1-0, then we're 8 goals wrong. So you've never been that before.
So you want to take the record for the most wrong we've ever been?
No, I think that's our insurance policy. We're never that wrong.
Right.
So that's safe. Do you get what I'm saying?
I actually don't.
Right.
But you're going 7-0.
To United, yeah. Because I've never been 8 goals out before, I don't think.
So you want to be this time?
No, I won't be.
Well, you might be if we lose 2-0.
No, because I've never have been. The chances of that are non-existent.
Right. Okay. So you're saying if you say let's say if you say we win 10-0, you're not going to. This isn't going to be the worst prediction you've ever made. Yeah. So we'll probably win 3-0.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Do you see my point?
I see the point.
Is there any reason to it? Any method to it?
I'm not sure it would. This sort of logic would get by on a GCSE maths paper.
All right, I'll just go 1-1 then.
Okay.
Fair enough. Now you've convinced me. You make a good point.
I didn't say anything.
Yeah. No. You're right. It was silly. Forgive me. Right. I'm going 1-0. What were you going?
2-0 United.
He's going 2-0. Get involved in the chat in the comments. Let us know your score predictions. I've been Jay Motti. That's been Joe Smith. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.